Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Last week, in her attempt to deflect the Biden administration's complete and utter devastation at our southern border, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said, quote, "There are a lot of Republicans out there giving speeches about how outraged they are about the situation at the border. Not many are putting forward solutions or steps we could take." Well, she got one thing right. We're outraged. We're outraged because every single day we hear from constituents who are dismayed, angry about this administration's complete lack of concern for the safety and well-being of our nation at the southern border. They resent the fact that on his first day in office, the Unity President gave up on border security and hung a welcome sign in our border communities. Biden sent a very clear message to the world that our rule of law would not be enforced under his administration. Jen Psaki now has the audacity to complain about Republicans highlighting a crisis that they themselves created and claims she hasn't heard solutions. Jen, if you haven't heard solutions, circle back and listen. To start, the biggest thing the Biden administration needed to do to protect our country was nothing at all. The former administration had laid out a clear and effective border security measure. They safeguarded our communities, protected public health, and incentivized legal pathways to citizenship. And yet Biden has systematically unraveled all of the former administration's effective policies in the name of lawlessness just to score political points with the radical and progressive left. I cannot fathom how anyone in a position of authority, Jen Psaki, President Biden, Harris, Secretary Mayorkas, would spend more time ignoring our laws than correcting the crisis that they created. So, Biden administration, now that we've gotten your attention, please listen how you fix this crisis. Number one, enforce the laws that are written. Don't undermine our national security with political pandering. Two, complete border construction. Right now, there are millions of dollars worth of building material rusting in the desert because Biden put a halt to the Congress-approved and paid for border construction. This is a disastrous waste of taxpayer dollars and a tragedy for our border security. Number three, reinstate the Remain in Mexico policy so that those seeking asylum can be processed orderly without putting our borders at risk. We had the buy-in and cooperation of all the Central American countries. Biden threw that cooperation out the window. Number four, require a negative COVID test before entry into the southern United States to actually protect public health. The Biden administration's current COVID policy is hypocrisy. Right now, international travelers who fly into the United States must show proof of vaccination or a negative test, while illegal immigrants can walk across the border without any public health requirements. I mean, hell, in the midst of the fourth worst COVID surge, Secretary Mayorkas himself confirmed that none of the 15,000 Haitians brought into this country from under the bridge were tested for COVID. The absence of accountability and urgency of this matter is shameful. The hypocrisy is disastrous. Number five, quit encouraging people to make the disastrous trek to America. Just last week, we saw thousands of Haitians and their families make the treacherous journey to our border, many suffering from heat-related diseases. Then Mayorkas finally admitted that over 10,000 Haitians were brought into this country without being vetted. Number six, promising amnesty, tax remittance, health care, and sanctuary cities to our legal. Stop it. Again, these liberal policies are enticing people to break our laws. So next time, before Jen Psaki or anyone in the Biden administration criticizes House Republicans for talking openly about how to combat a national security crisis of their own making, I suggest she circle back and revisit all that we have said in the preceding months. The great hidden provisions in the new reconciliation package presents the most disastrous immigration policies in our nation's histories. I don't envy Jen Psaki's job of having defended the destruction of this country. Mr. Speaker, we are a country of laws. Our laws need to be enforced. I continue to fight for the security of this nation and our southern border. Thank you. I yield back.
Members are reminded to refrain from engaging in personalities toward the President.